Beyonce has responded to songwriter Tiffany Red after Tiffany made a few videos calling out the Queen Bee for taking credit for songs she did not write from songwriters like herself. Now, if you don't know Tiffany, she's actually a very well-known songwriter in the industry. Tiffany has worked with artists like Jennifer Hudson, Seven Streeter, Fantasia, and Tamar Braxton, just to name a few. In fact, she wrote Zendaya's hit song Replay, so that should give you a little bit of a hint as to how good she is at her craft. But after working in the industry for many years, Tiffany got fed up with how some artists conduct business, particularly Beyonce. And this is what she had to say about the Queen Bee, who constantly releases music without crediting songwriters for their work.
Y'all call the internet Beyonce's internet. So is it not fair to come to the Queen about evolving her business practices? This is not the same music industry it was when she first started. Publishing makes far less money than it used to. If you're not writing the single, you're not making any money. So every percentage that we get of publishing matters because it's all we got and it's worth so much less now. But does that stop her from taking publishing despite that? No. Would I like to see a change? Would other songwriters and producers like to see a change? Yes. How do I know? Because they tell me all the time. It should not be too much to ask a queen to modernize her business and pay songwriters a livable wage. It's not too much to ask. She made $579 million off that Renaissance tour. Ask the writers how much they made. And when I was in the car, I heard that song, My Power by Beyonce. And I was listening to those lyrics and they just started to bother me. Because I was thinking, listening, and it's saying, you won't take my power. And then when I think about how many songwriters that have written for this woman whose power has been taken, and it made me think about that song, Break My Soul, You Won't Break My Soul. And then I think about how many songwriters' souls have been broken as this woman has taken the publishing, which is the only thing that they have. They're publishing in a big chunk too. You're literally watching Beyonce get more famous, rich, bigger off these lyrics that you write, but you don't have anything to show for it. That's breaking somebody's soul. It makes me think about that song, Freedom. We don't just want to watch you be rich. How's that free? I think Beyonce is a brilliant artist. I also think that Beyonce is a hypocrite. Lyrics of liberation don't pay the people who write them. I talked to somebody yesterday. Somebody's a manager of somebody who is a writer and producer on Renaissance. Okay? The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. I've talked to another writer who wrote and sang on one of your favorite songs. Credit not right, all kind of shit fucked up. His business still isn't handled. Beyonce was on tour last year with that record, with that person's vocals, all that. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. I'm not a writer that's written for Beyonce. I haven't shot my shot at Beyonce because I'm not willing to give her any publishing. Not because I haven't had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to work with everybody. And I've turned down a lot of stuff because I'm not willing to play these games. There's a massive power dynamic happening. Please don't act like it's easy to negotiate with Beyonce and her team, because it is not. If that was the case, there would not be so many people coming to me like, Tiff, this is how much was taken. It's not negotiable. It's not. These are the terms, which means, okay, cool. Then we work for you, Beyonce. So that means you're an employer. I remember having a conversation with a writer who wrote on, what was the record Beyonce did after or before Renaissance? I can't remember, whatever the record was. I remember talking to one of the writers and talking to them about how much of the publishing she was taking. And this writer was like, look, Tiff, I don't want no smoke with me. Like, I just let her take the publishing. That's bullshit. And you know, the thing that burns me up the most about Beyonce, and this is why I'm speaking about her specifically, is because Beyonce is Queen Bee. Beyonce is a black artist. Beyonce represents black excellence. Beyonce's team, like the people who work with her, these writers that I'm talking about that are exploited, they're us. My comments about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year and me saying, you know what, maybe karmically it's not coming to you because of the way that you're doing creatives, I meant that with everything in me. I hear the racial discussion and all the things, and I think that that has its place. But this has its place too. Beyonce could absolutely reform her business practices. Beyonce could absolutely reform Parkwood's business practices. It's a decision. It's a fucking choice. It's a choice to take 25% of publishing that you didn't earn. That's wage theft. That's what that is. That's bullying. That's abuse of power. That is the power dynamic. That's the gun. People out here think they're going to lose their opportunities, lose their jobs, lose their relationships, lose everything trying to negotiate. And y'all fucking know that shit. I'm not saying wait on Beyonce. I'm not. But I am going to say what I need to say about it, because for the last almost 4 years now, I have had so many writers come to me about her specifically. People's splits still aren't done. People still aren't getting paid. People still aren't being seen. People still aren't being heard. People are still being silenced. People are still under NDAs and some more shit. While Jay-Z's up there on Sunday talking about why it's not fair Beyonce don't got a Grammy for Album of the Year. So hell yeah, I had something to say. Because it's hypocrisy. Also, not for nothing, Taylor Swift is a songwriter. She writes her albums.
Now, Tiffany made these videos a little after Jay-Z called out the Grammys for not giving his wife Album of the Year, even though she's been dominating the industry for quite some time now. Recently, Beyonce announced that she was coming out with a new album during Usher's Super Bowl performance. Although she received a lot of heat for taking the shine away from Usher, Beyonce's fans quickly supported her when she dropped the first 2 songs from her new country album on YouTube, which is called Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. However, one person who wasn't excited for Beyonce's new drop was Tiffany. On Twitter, she said she hopes that Beyonce will do right by her songwriters when the new album is released in March. However, the only response that Beyonce has given Tiffany so far is just of her posting new photos of herself in cowboy attire to promote her new album. At this point in time, it's obvious that the only thing on Beyonce's mind is her album release date, and so far the rollout process for that has been seamless. But even though fans can't wait for it to come out, many of them agreed with Tiffany online and said they hope that Bey does right by her songwriters on Renaissance Act 2. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tea with Joy.